Everybody, we are back. It is Taped on Live, favorite podcast, favorite channel, favorite everything. We are back. You guys already know what to do. Hit the subscribe button, subscribe. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit the dislike button if you don't like it. Leave a comment if you like it. Leave a comment if you don't like it. Also follow us on Twitter at the March on NFL for me, at mholder95 for Matt, and pandasubs.com. Discount code TDL for 25% off. All right. So today we're doing some more draft. We're doing a Danny Stutsman and TreyVeyon Henderson today. So give you a little TreyVeyon Henderson, look a little deeper into Chip Kelly's running game too as well. And so that's what we're doing today for the draft breakdown. And what else we got today? So other news, right? Hunter Renfrow might come back, right? I know the fans are excited about that.
Yeah.
As some fan told me that, we have the best slot receiver in the league, and I was thinking, who is that? And I guess he's talking about Jacoby Myers. But I don't know about that. That's a weird stance, but we don't need
Jacoby. Jacoby doesn't even really play in the slot that much, does he?
No, he's like half.
No, yeah, maybe 50-50. Yeah, I'd be interested to see what the numbers are. But yeah, I mean, I love Renfrow when he was on the team and when he's at his peak in that 1,000-yard season. But last year was rough, but I would love to see him come back. And I think Vic even tweeted out like the Raiders need a linebacker and posted that picture of him on the punt return blowing that dude up. I loved everything that like Renfrow was like about, like just like that gritty dude, former walk-on. I just don't know how much of an impact he can make at this stage in his career, but who knows? Maybe he got healthy with the full year off and not playing last year, and can get back to that form. I'm just not holding my breath, but love to see Renfrow back in action. That'd be cool.
Yeah, it just won't hurt. You know what I mean? It can hurt nobody. And I thought his film wasn't awful when he got let go. Like those last couple of years, he still made some plays every once in a while, but I don't think he's gonna be like a 100 target guy. You know what I mean? So I wasn't really worried about that. And update: Jacoby Myers is outside wide 71% of the time last year. So
yeah.
Makes sense. He's definitely not a slot receiver anymore. So that's why they're looking for one in the draft. I mean, everybody in the draft they had a visit with, it was a slot guy. I mean, besides McMillan. So they think Jacoby Myers can play outside. So he is your X, everybody. Hey, everybody. It looks like Jacoby Myers probably will be your X this year. And I mean, he got 1,000 yards last year. I don't understand that pushback against it. But
well, and I feel like Brock's kind of the X. Like, I mean, I guess Brock does kind of do, and Brock will operate out of the slot too. And Trey Tucker will too. So I don't know. It's weird. The need at wide receiver is a weird one. It's like I agree that they need someone else out there. I just but like what exactly they need, like I definitely feel like it's up for debate. I don't know. It's kind of a weird position group. And part of it is because Jacoby's on the last year of his deal. And then Trey Tucker, like I know you love him, and I'm excited to see what he can do. I think he can be like Tyler Lockett with Geno Smith, but he is unproven at this point. Like at this point, stage of his career, we haven't seen that much from him in the last 2 years. So, wide receiver is a weird spot for the Raiders heading into the draft.
Yeah, it is. I think that it's not a need where like they have to. I'd rather them take some defensive players, to be honest. Like that's kind of how I look at it. And the more I look at the draft, I talked about this a little on Friday Night Live. Is they got those 3 6-round picks. And there's like wide receivers that I feel like they could fall back there, like the Ricky Whites and some of those guys that have pretty good film that you can get a wide receiver and maybe hit on something. I don't think it's something you have to waste a pick on. Like I need Jaden Higgins. We need a big X, like it's 1999 or something like that. We need a red zone threat like this. That's basically the thought process, and I don't know if that's even true itself because you got, like I said, you got Bowers, you got Myers. They're gonna get a lot of targets. And then you kind of, you bring in somebody else to mix it up, I guess. Maybe like I don't know. It just there's nothing crazy, but they just need a slot guy though. They do.
Yeah, it's an ancillary need. You know what I mean? Like it's like if we're ranking things, like it's not going to be if we're ranking it, top to bottom, like it's probably not even top 5. But they could use somebody out there. Like you know what I mean? Like if the board falls the way it does, or if the stars align or whatever, and like the board falls the way they want it to, maybe they can take one, but it's not like you have to walk out of this draft with a wide receiver type of deal. Yeah. At least for this year.
Yeah. Yeah, because Matt Miller had the Raiders taking T-Mac, and he was like, have you seen the Raiders wide receiver room? And I'm like, they have 2 1,000-yard guys. Like, I don't understand. I just don't understand. Like, people act like Jacoby Myers had 1,000 yards last year with Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell.
Yeah, I think he missed 2 games.
Yeah, he missed 2 games too, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's a weird outlook on just him itself. Like this, what type of player he is. People are just saying a lot about him, in my opinion, too. So
yeah.
And then Devin White, right? What are your thoughts on Devin White coming to the building? I made a joke last night that he actually is coming off a career year according to PFF. So.
Oh yeah, because he didn't play. He finally had like a 60 PFF grade, above average. Yeah, I mean, I'll say this: if you mush like a Landon Roberts and Devin White together, you almost have a complete linebacker. Because as we talked about, like Landon Roberts is a first and second down guy. The problem is Devin White's not really good in coverage either. But what he can do is he can blitz and rush the passer, and I think that's kind of like why some people were, quite frankly, overrating Devin White like a few years ago. Like, I don't know if we've seen a faster fall from grace of a guy that a couple of seasons ago was trying to get a second contract with the Bucs and with Spytech, and I think that's part of the reason why they brought him in. And then now is like having a hard time finding a home in the NFL.
Yeah,
and I think that's just because his skill set is so unique that it's hard to really pin down, and like it's just not that functional. Like he's a linebacker who's not good in coverage and not good against the run, like not disciplined, but he can rush the passer, but he doesn't have edge size. You know what I mean? Like he's just this weird, like he's a hybrid player that doesn't fit anywhere. He's like the like, to compare him to like a Jalen Walker, and obviously not quite on the same level. Like if you're high on Jalen Walker, your fear is that he becomes a guy like Devin White that just never really finds a true home and a true position in the NFL. And I think that's what White is at his career. And we're about to do Danny Stutsman. Like I didn't flinch at all to change it when they signed Devin White, because I don't think he moves the needle that much. And to be quite frank, it wouldn't surprise me if he doesn't end up making the team. I think it was like hey, let's get this guy in, and worst case scenario, if the draft doesn't go our way, at least we have somebody back there and someone with a little bit more experience, because that is a young position group outside of Roberts right now. But yeah, it doesn't move the needle much for me.
Yeah, he got cut by the Eagles. He didn't play a snap for the Eagles, looks like.
And they signed him to like a decent deal too, and he got cut before without even playing, and then landed in Houston, was a backup all of last season.
Yeah,
except for week 18.
Yeah, week 18.
He played balled out.
As long as he plays the Titans, because he had 2 great games with the Titans last year. As long as he played the Titans, he'll be a good player. But yeah, I look at Devin White is like if they bring a rookie in, the rookie plays well, and the guy gets hurt, Devin White comes in. It's not that bad. That's what I hope that outlook is. Kind of the same way I want Eric Stokes to be. It's like, yeah, sure. Great. Guy gets hurt. Eric Stokes comes in. That's not bad. That's not a bad outlook. Yeah. But I don't want Eric Stokes to start. And yeah, I was thinking yesterday, like if Eric Stokes beats out Jack Jones, and we gotta, we got a little bit of an issue at corner, or hopefully they draft a corner and then that guy ends up starting. And then if Eric Stokes takes the place over Jack Jones, then we just ship Jack Jones out somewhere else, because I mean, with Stokes, you can apply this too. Whenever you see a free agent signing that's still young, and you see, so such and such team signs former first round pick, like I think there was a tweet out there. It's like, that just means you're like super mega ass. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you have to qualify it as former first round pick to hype the guy up, that usually means their career has not gone the way they want it to. Like, exactly.
Raiders signed former first round pick Devin White.
Yeah, former first round pick.
That's how you position it. Former top 5, right?
Yeah, he went 4, bro.
No, he went 5. Farrell was 4. He went 5, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's Raiders fans are mad. That's Raiders fans.
Yeah. And I think Glenn pointed this out. Like, I'll take Cleveland Farrell's career over Devin White's at this point. Cleveland's been a solid role player. White, again, we were talking about, has been struggling to find a home in the last 2 off seasons.
Yeah, Cleveland Farrell's gonna put 10 years in the NFL, man. He's gonna be like that 11-year veteran. Like Cleveland Farrell, 32.
You set the edge, man. You just set the edge. Set the edge. You have a great career.
1 year, $3 million deal at 32. We're laughing at him, but he's gonna be playing, man.
It's like Laquan Treadwell. I saw he's about to enter year 10. It's like one bigger bust, but somehow he's just managed to stick around. Cleveland Farrell, him and Cleveland.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
respect to Cleveland, man. I mean, again, He's found a career, man. He found his niche.
He's
Just drafted way too high.
He just still drafted him at 4.
Yeah.
You know, he's solid NFL player, man. Good job, please. He's solid.
Yeah.
You know, all right. All right, let's get to these draft picks, the draft breakdown. So doing Danny Stutsman and TreyVeyon Henderson. So let's start off with Stutsman because he's probably the more not familiar guy. I'm sure some Raiders fans are familiar with him, but not too much.
Yeah, so I think once Spillane kind of bolted for the Patriots in free agency, I saw a lot of like Raider fans talking about Stutsman, and I think the parallels are pretty similar. They're both kind of those run defending linebackers who like to play with their hair on fire and are good blitzers. Like when you can kind of get them going downhill, that's when they're at their best. And Stutsman does have a few clips. Like we'll see a handful of them. He does have a few different ways to defeat blocks in the running game, which I think is really nice. It's funny, like he was a guy that I felt like I was higher on, like when everyone else was lower on him. And now that he's gotten like more buzz, I've been like, let's pump the brakes a little bit. Like it's just kind of like the full cycle of him. I think one of the things that I noticed, like, and also similar to Spillane, I think he's better in coverage than a lot of people give him credit for. That being said, like when I say that, I'm thinking more of like his 2022 and 2023 seasons where he looked a little bit lighter and a little bit like more athletic, whereas this past year he's a little bit bigger and a little bit more stiff. But like we'll see one play he makes in coverage where he kind of like flips his hips, carries a tight ends, and makes a play on the ball that was pretty damn impressive. I just don't know if he's still that player, but at least you know that's in there. And I think he kind of proved a lot of people wrong and at the combine where they might have doubted his athleticism. And then he all of a sudden runs like a 4.53 at 235 pounds or whatever he was. And I think he had a pretty good jump too. Mm-hmm. So I think he's a better athlete than people give him credit for and better in coverage. But again, like Spillane, like his money's going to be made as a run defender and specifically like blitzing and just going straight downhill. Cause he's the type of guy, like if you just tell him, hey, Danny, go chase the ball and go get the guy with the ball. Like he can do that pretty well, especially with his 4.5 speed and whatnot and at his size. So definitely an intriguing player, a guy I think is probably in that 3rd, 4th round category when we start looking at the draft, and it could end up being a top 100 player in this year's draft.
All right, yeah, because the Raiders need linebackers, so they're going to draft some, and they got to find that fit. And try to find their little Bobby Wagner type of guy. So what round did Bobby Wagner go? 2nd?
3rd, I think.
3rd.
Maybe he was 2nd, yeah. Because he was a Utah State guy. I know he got some buzz. Let's see. Maybe he was 2nd. Because remember him and Robert Turbin were in the same draft class from Utah State. 2nd round.
Okay. 2nd
round, 47th.
Oh, that's a damn good Utah State team. Damn.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. All right. Hey. So I'm doing TreyVeyon Henderson. Now, Henderson is a pretty damn good running back. That's what I'll say. There's not really much that he can't do. He could catch, he could block, and he could run the football. He's definitely a 3-down back. He wasn't used as a 3-down back though at Ohio State, so he's very fresh in my opinion. I think he's not going to come, really beat up or anything like that. Kind of how, Ashton Genty has a lot of those carries he's bringing with him to the NFL. Henderson does not have that issue, and I just think Henderson is just somebody that you could plug and play just like any other running back. I mean, the more I watch Henderson, the more I get him closer to Hampton. So it's
okay.
Yeah, I think he's damn good. He's really good at running back.
Yeah,
that's why I think like at 37, if you want to take a running back, and why I'm not biggest fan of taking Ashton Genty at 6, because do you get to take Henderson at 37, or does he go 1st round? Do I think the NFL is going to do that? I don't know, because I still think this is a defensive draft, and it's going to be like, do I take Derek Harmon or do I take a running back? And these teams would be like, I'm going to take Derek Harmon. I feel like that's where we're at this point. You know what I mean? Like, do I take Trey Amos or do I take Omarion Hampton? Oh, I'm going to take Trey Amos. And I kind of feel like some of these guys are going to fall, especially a lot of these. I think it was a lot of these wide receivers that people were putting in the 1st round. I think some of those guys are going to fall too a little bit. And so I still think there's a chance that Henderson might be at 37. And if he is, I think the Raiders should take him at that spot. That would be the perfect spot to take him. And that would be the perfect spot to find your running back that could be your bell cow and is already familiar with Chip Kelly's offense. And Chip Kelly knows how to use him, get the best out of his skill set. It's easy plug and play. So I really do like that one. I mean, if they don't go to Ashton Jetty at 6, but Henderson, yeah, he can just do everything, man. It's really not too much that he can't do. So maybe you could talk about his hands being consistent because he doesn't he's a body catcher, not a hands catcher. Maybe you can nitpick a little bit there, but it's not too much that you can really say about it too much. I mean, you're starting to nitpick at him. He makes guys miss. You can hit 2 home runs. You can catch. You can block. Like, you know what I mean? Like you're nitpicking at that point. So yeah, he is a legit back, and he's definitely a top 3 running back in this draft for sure.
Yeah, I'm interested to see because I feel like we've watched TreyVeyon Henderson like a few times, just like doing like guys like Will Howard, and then obviously diving into Chip's offense. But we haven't really like watched or studied like TreyVeyon Henderson. So I'm curious for the deep dive. But I mean, one thing that stands out in my mind, you kind of brought it up, is the blocking. That just fires me up. I mean, I remember the run that Will Howard had that he just laid out the safety and like decleated him. Dude got air and whatnot, and that was in the running game. Yeah. And I mean, as far as him in pass pro and like the clips I've seen, like it's pretty much the same where he just wants to run through somebody's face and just punish them as they try and blitz. So yeah. I mean, he's an interesting guy, and I'm very curious to see what he could do with the bigger workload because obviously he didn't have that last year with splitting carries with is it Judkins? I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Judkins. Yeah,
Judkins. So yeah,
it's funny. I didn't put any of the blocking in here because it was just my clip was too long, and that was a 7-minute clip.
All right,
I was because I really wanted to show how much he was as good as a receiver. That's what I really wanted to show.
Yeah,
that's really an underrated part of his game is how much he was part of that passing game. I know it didn't equal out a lot of catches, but like when he was on the field, I mean, he would have like 10 carries a game. So he'd go on the field and he would be really part of the passing game. So that's a big part of it. And it was funny. It was just getting too long. I was like, man, what do I take out? Or remember I have a 10-minute clip here. And we go over TreyVeyon Henderson show, 30-minute breakdown. Yeah. So, but as a blocker, I mean, he's like I said, there's not too much he doesn't do well. Like it's hard for me to be like, oh, you don't do that well. And I think those 3 running backs, there's not too much you could do. Well, you start nitpicking. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, yeah, but I do like Henderson a lot here.
Yeah, if you want to see TreyVeyon Henderson's blocking, like I said, go back to the Chip Kelly episode where we broke down the running game and find that clip because it'll get you excited, or just like go on Twitter and find it because plenty of people have posted and talked about it on social media and whatnot. So he trust us, he can block. He's a physical dude. He doesn't take shortcuts in that part of the game for sure.
No, he doesn't. All right, let's just get into Henderson. All right, so I just to talk about his athleticism. Start off. So here we're getting a little toss right here, and it's gonna show a lot of his patience, a little bit, and his ability just to make some cuts here. So you can see him kind of get outside, and then he's gonna just jump over these guys for this touchdown, right? And if I did touchdown to carry ratio with Henderson, I swear it'd be crazy. But you see he's able to just kind of get back inside here, right? And just jump over these guys. The other guy can't tackle there, just carries himself to the end zone. So you can see a lot of plays like this in this breakdown where he's just kind of freakish athletically, right? And it's just a big part of his game. And that's why he's kind of raises up the board and having kind of those big moments as during the draft that, he went from being a guy who didn't get a lot of carries to maybe being a first round guy. All right. So this one, I just want to show because Chip Kelly, this little outside. His play calls has a TreyVeyon Henderson out here in the slot right here. Right, there's Henderson right there. Get him on the motion. Kind of get like a outside zone look over here, and then you have the center pulling the opposite way. It's a madman run game. So he's a madman. But you can see just how fast Henderson is in space. And it's funny when I was watching him originally, when I was watching, I guess the Notre Dame game, he just didn't look that fast for some reason. And the more film I saw, it's just you see the athleticism here and just jumping over another guy here. Guy on the field tries to do a little hurdle. Good form. He must have did hurdles as a in high school or something. I'm about to Google that. That's a that's a hurdle. First down. And the same concept, I probably showed this on the Chip Kelly breakdown. You do the little QB counter here off the jet motion here. And then what I like is how he like completely comes to a stop here. So see the counter, he completely comes to a stop. He allows these blocks to develop fully. And then he's got a free man here, right? And you already see what's happening to him. Yeah, he's a full-on whiff from 97. So even 97 just makes a great play right here. You see, he's just a monster. Just tosses that dude. He's a free runner. It doesn't matter with Henderson. He's still able to make that guy miss, get some more yards. So this went from what, like maybe a 2-yard gain to about a 5-6 yard gain.
Keeping the offense ahead of the sticks.
Yeah, that's just you can see just how much of an athlete he is. All right, here's another one here. You get a little counter on this one too. All right, with the motion. I'm telling you, man, I was really watching this, man. I was like, oh man, we're gonna cook at the NFL for a little bit, aren't we? So with the counter here, and what I like is like he sees it immediately. You kind of can see this defensive tackle is getting beat there. He kind of beating that. I believe that's a guard. And you see like the jump cut that he has. So it's a quick little jump cut. That's basically what this is here. It's nothing really it's a nice little kind of just a side shuffle here, kind of, and he gets outside, and then he's gonna hurdle over another guy. You just it's just you try to do a little roll tackle. Nope. Full on perfect form hurdle. He's an athletic freak. There's a lot of it of his game is just how much of an athlete he is. And then kind of the vision here. Athlete.
Damn.
All right. And then it's also the simple runs too, which I really like from him. Like this one right here. So you're getting some more counter here on this one with a little jet motion. And it's what he's able to do is, the counter's going this way, but he's able to kind of be patient, find this opening here, right? He's able to stay patient, find this opening here, kind of get skinny in there, and get about 4 or 5 yards.
Yeah, that was good vision. I like too, like he's not a robot, like cutting backside again on gap runs usually isn't a good idea, but when it opens up like this, like, hey, and especially when the front side is plugged up like that, like be a football player, don't be a robot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Love it. All right, here's another one. It's more power football. I mean, it's mostly power football with him. And, I know Chip Kelly's not an idiot. So, it's probably be mostly power football with him in the NFL. Yeah. But you see, what I like here is just he sees this block, right? And he just knows I could just go forward and get skinny here and I can get a bunch of yards. I can get 5 or 6 there. It's like it's decisive. So you saw him be patient on one run, and then you see another one where he sees it right away, and you're like, maybe he could go here, right? You see this opening, but you got Basso who's probably going to come over here at the top. You get 28. So that's good vision, in my opinion, because you have to see this linebacker, right? Like a lot of guys, this looks open, but if he keeps going this way, he's going to flow this way. He's tackled, right? And then 28 is flowing this way as well. But he sees the other hole here that's opening with the block, being patient there. And then getting some yards there. There's another one in here. There's another one where it's not really there at first. This is like getting some duo here.
Yeah.
it's not really there at first. It kind of doesn't have that hole there. The guy ends up 94 ends up beating the tight end. He's able to come backside here, find the hole here that's open on the other side. And it's like small things like this where, you kind of just what I really like about Henderson.
And I like how he sets this up too, because like if he just like that, where he ends up going is open like initially, right? But he's going to set up Bossa, because if he just goes to it right now, Bossa works over the top of that block and makes the play in the hole. But the fact he kind of pushed the play side a little bit more, that helped open it up and help him get those tough yards that aren't sexy, but again, keep you ahead of the sticks offensively.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so more counter here on this one. No, I love this run. This run's crazy here. So he's getting counter here. It gets. I mean, Tennessee blows his plays up, right? I mean, this play is just won by the defense here, right? You're like, oh, that's a play's over. Oh no, it's not. He gets outside, and then it's this jump cut. It's this little cut right here. I'm not gonna say jump cut, but this cut right here. This guy goes outside. He gets 7 going this way. He just goes straight upfield, and he's scoring a touchdown. So he has great contact balance too, as well. Go ahead, Matt.
I was just saying, I've never seen a play where a guy like takes what he can get, and then on the top of it, like ends up making a big play out of it.
Right? He's like, oh,
now he's like, all right, I'm just gonna put my head down and get what I can get. Oh no, wait,
touchdown!
I've never seen both on the same play. That's awesome.
This cut right here, man. Oh, just quickly upfield, touchdown. And then there's the long speed as well. So what I really like about this one is he didn't counter again. Okay, so it's counter. He is supposed to play this side, right? And he comes backside here, all the way across. And this you're talking about, Matt, him not being a robot. That's like the perfect example.
It helps when you get a pancake. Follow the pancake. It's always a good rule of thumb.
Right there, right? But is this plays dead over here? You see, and you're right. Follow the pancake because this is exactly what he did. But then you see the speed too, because I mean he's able just to get outside here and then basically just outrun 5 to the sideline.
He ran like a 4.4, right?
Yeah. Beat that guy outside, but you think about it, like right here. I mean, 6 should make this tackle, right? You think he should be able to make this tackle? He just runs right past him. Nothing. Touchdown. And then there's another one here, which it's a whole bunch of guys. But we got 17 moving here. It's just a whole bunch of movement, man. Right? You got counter, and then you got like 17's going this way. Chip Kelly's a madman. He's just saying he's got passer going this way. Linebackers confused. Then you got 74 comes up here, makes that run, and then Henderson just finishes it off, gets the outside, and he's gone.
Yeah. By the way, 4.43.
Yeah.
Which you can see on this one.
Even this one is just, I mean, this one's perfectly blocked up, but you see it's the burst too. You see how fast he accelerates right here when he sees it, the acceleration. Gone. Touchdown. Yeah, and then getting to him as a receiver, which I really want to point it out because there's a lot of this. You see him, you can get him out in motion here. Something we saw in the NFL this year is like a lot of these motions. Get him out in space. Get a little wheel route here. And good catching traffic on the sideline too while getting hit.
Yeah.
And then you can give him the ball out in space too. Kind of do some little screens here. He's gonna make guys miss, and he gets upfield so quick too. So I'm saying you can just get the ball in his hand, man. He can make plays for you, a bunch of plays. First down. And then there's another one right here. So you get him on the orbit motion here. Kind of do like a fake reversed. Nothing there for Howard. Howard just checks it down to him. Then he makes one guy miss. Then he makes that guy miss a little bit. So you could just give him the ball in space too. And then he runs good routes too. So like here he is on the little kind of choice route, which I don't know why Will Howard did not throw it to him on this play, but you just kind of see him quickly gets out of that break right there. Like he's gonna be difficult to guard for people to guard in space. You see a little bit better from this side here. I don't know who 26 is, man, but he's just huge, man.
Bryce
Yeah.
Betcher. Can be playing for the Astros.
Really?
Yeah, he got drafted by. Well, he's coming back to Oregon. I don't know what the deal is, but yeah, he's a baseball guy.
He's way too big to play baseball. So, is he a power hitter? Because what the hell?
He was a Gold Glover in center field.
Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's called a first round linebacker. That's called speed.
He might. I don't know. Maybe he'll change of heart.
But this play is like one of my favorite catches here too as well, because this one, like this ball is going out of bounds, right? He still concentration, gets his feet down. It seems like it's a yard, but this just kind of shows what kind of like how he can help you out in the passing game. You know what I mean? Like it's just you see it here. Man, it's a pretty difficult catch. He still gets his feet down there. He's just making plays. And then, of course, there's the last one here against Texas. It was a big play. Which, right here, you're like, okay, like how is he gonna score here, right? Well, I'm sure from the backside, it's just this is also like it just became like a running play for him.
Yeah. It makes me wonder too with the NFL rules, could he be a good kick returner? So that's like basically what that is right there.
Yeah. That's a good point right there. Cause you see here, like it's some of these blocks, right?
Yeah.
So he's got these three guys here, and it's like he's been saying, like you see the shiftiness right there, like it's in cut, out cut, gone. It's like it is 17 got blasted because of it. Yeah, man. So he's impressive. Like just really no way.
That's good tape.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's good film, man. He's impressive. Like he would be excited if the Raiders drafted him. I would be excited. There's really not too much that he can't do, and he is a power back. I mean, there's really to see any zone in there. I don't know how much zone he did in this year, but Raiders, they have guys that can run that system right now. So I expect him to kind of be able to come in there and be the starter day one, right? If you end up drafting him, and there's really no reason to kind of take him off the field. I mean, you can kind of mix in Moser in there, of course, but yeah, he definitely is legit and would be somebody that, of course, like this whole Spy Tech and all these guys would love because what I need to show is the blocking. So yeah, he could play, man.
It's interesting too that like they didn't use him on a ton of zone because like the vision was what stood out to me about more than anything. Like he just seemed like he like knew where the opening was going to be and like almost like he had like the eyes in the back of his head. Where I'm like, I'm pretty sure you weren't looking that way, but somehow you found that backside gap and were able to get to it. My only concern was like some of like the lateral movement skills. I don't know what you thought, like maybe not quite 100% there, and maybe that's why they didn't quite use him on zone as much.
Yeah,
but I mean. He did have a couple nice jump cuts at least in there, so yeah, that's an interesting that they didn't use him in that guard because he definitely has the vision. That's for sure. I mean, he's seeing backside gaps on power runs. So, so yeah, I'm curious, man. So, what do you think about his lateral movement skills? Is that something that's like you're worried about, or do you think that might he be fine?
Yeah, I don't think it's something to be too worried about because the one play where I showed where when he went to the line and he came out when he made that jump cut, that not jump cut, but the one cut basically. I mean, that's a zone cut right there. I mean, you basically you find the cut back and you just cut right up field. So I think he can do it. It's just that is something interesting to point out. Like why didn't they run zone with him if they feel like he has that vision for it, right? And and even when he's in the open field, you kind of can see that he can move and has a little bit of the ability to move laterally, but I kind of have to kind of go back to the film a little bit and kind of see exactly, if that really is there. That's a problem, because it might be something that kind of might hold him back a little bit in the NFL. So it's a good point though.
Yeah. I mean, I tell you what, man, I'm all for it, especially marrying him back with Chip, just because that was my other takeaway from the film was, God, Chip's running game is just so damn impressive, dude. There's so much eye candy, like it's so hard to stop. And like I was watching the Rose Bowl against Oregon like recently because I was doing Basta for the site, and like just what he does is it's just so infuriating if you're a linebacker, man. Like there's so much eye candy, and that's the other thing that got me excited. Bring those guys back together.
Yeah, for sure. All right, man. Let's do some stuff.
All right, so apologies. We're gonna have a few broadcast clips. Like I said, I've been watching Stutsman for a while, so I'm gonna be going back and forth between the I think this was the 2022 bowl game, 2023 season, and then there's a few clips from this past season. So get the full gambit of Stutsman. But like I said in the beginning, like one of the things that stands out about his game is he has multiple ways to beat blocks, and he sets up his like moves pretty well here. We'll see better examples of that with the end zone view that'll highlight more. But like you'll see on this one, like this little looks like wide zone play from Florida State, and like he kind of works outside initially, and then just kind of cuts underneath it with a nice little rip move to beat the block, and then go make the tackle for about a 2-yard gain. I think we get a similar one here with a little shoulder dip. Yeah, same kind of thing, just against inside zone, but this time against a little power. This time on the backside, nice little dip, make the center miss. Again, go get the TFL. Kind of his tape's just littered with that. Get a handful of examples like this one too. Like you'll see it, like he's going to start to work a little wide. So this guard kind of goes at this angle, and that just opens up this avenue to go underneath and then come flat down the line or flat down his path and able to meet that running back for like a 2-yard gain. A little bit of the closing speed on there too. And also a nice little rip move. Beat the guard. Also like watch his outside or inside hand here, like what he does with it, kind of flashes it, sells it a little bit of gamesmanship. We'll settle these. This time, basically the same thing we just saw, but the biggest difference is right about here at the point of contact. Just kind of mixes it up, goes with a little cross chop to beat the right tackle here. Again, get involved in the play, go make the tackle. So, handful of ways to beat blocks. This one, same kind of thing I was talking about before, like going up against this counter look against a tight end, where like if you watch, like he's going to keep working wide, so the tight end's going to match him and widen with him, and that just opens up that lane for him to cut underneath, go meet Milrow at the line of scrimmage, make a tackle. So again, just a little gamesmanship and his ability to set up blocks. Same kind of thing here. Works wide. This time plays the hand. So saw 3 different ways he can kind of slip blocks and beat guys in the second level.
He definitely has got bigger though.
Yeah, for sure. Like this is 2023, and like you can already see he's getting a little bit thicker. That 2022 year, he was a skinny little guy.
Yeah.
Now he's like 240. He played at 240 last year. On top of that though, too, like he can take on blocks. Like you see him here, like great job using his hands, be able to keep that guy away from him. For reference, this is 2024. A little bit thicker here. Little counter move or counter play. And again, just meets the puller. Physical. I mean, great leverage here at the point of attack. Extend, get off the block, go make the tackle right at the line of scrimmage. Gets Ole Miss here this time. Doesn't get a clean release. Like you can see, like the strength he has to get the extension and then use that long arm. One arm's longer than 2. Be able to get off just enough and be able to make the tackle.
Yeah,
Also,
I see he added the neck brace too. He's had the linebacker look this year.
You read my mind. I was about to call it out, man. The cowboy collar. Cowboy collar instantly makes you a better run defender and a worse in coverage, and puts on about 10 pounds.
Yeah.
You just look at the
90s linebacker look. Here, I'll back this up a little bit. Oh yeah, look at that collar.
Yeah,
there we go.
That's a linebacker right there. That's the guy you want with the.
It takes away your neck, man. You just immediately become a stronger player. But again, this time another little power play. Meet the puller in the hole. And what I like too is like we saw him when he's taking on tight ends, using his hands a little bit more. This time going to use his shoulder, which is better for a couple reasons. One, you have a little bit more power behind your shoulder. And when we're not that worried about extension, it works off better. And two, you're not going to break your wrist, which is, imagine trying to punch a 300-pound wall that moves. Probably not going to work out well for you. But again, just uses this shoulder. Nice wide base here too. Make the play in the hole. And on top of that too, like the run fit here is perfect. Like, right, like we're going to get the safety or the corner coming off the edge here to fill the alley. And like the fact that he just fits the inside of this play, that's what allows him to make the tackle right at the line of scrimmage there. This next one's going to be a little bit more of just a good read, but we'll see even here, like he'll use his hands, be able to make sure that this left guard isn't able to get attached to him right here. Like, see it. And again, a great read here on the backside of this run. Go meet the running back in the hole. So a few different ways he can beat blocks for sure. Now, this is kind of where I think he'll be at his best in the NFL is when he's blitzing. Oklahoma didn't do that as much this past year with him. Like, again, this is from 2023, but he was really good at it in the past. Like you'll see here, he's on the backside of this counter run where he's going to blitz right where the guard pulls, and that's going to prevent the tackle. And he has enough speed to prevent the tackle from getting a clean block on him. And also, can't see that shoulder dip again to get skinny. Go get the TFL.
And he ran a 4.53, right?
Yeah, 4.53 at 233, I believe, is what he weighed in at the combine at. So big dude who can move. He can come downhill for sure. This time against Arizona, again, backside of a zone run. I do think his instincts against zone run are a little bit shaky. Like he'll kind of be quick to leave when he's on the backside. But that's where I like him if you blitz him, because then usually when you're blitzing one linebacker, the other one kind of hangs back and plays more patient as like a safety. I mean, as I say that, he crashes downhill here too. But typically that's what you can do. And on this one, again, he just kind of attacks the opening and just go get the guy with the ball at the end of the day. I think that's how you want to use him. This time again, another blitz here against Arizona in this bowl game. Nice little rip move. That's against Savanea too, who's probably going to be second, third round pick this year. And I mean, he ends up just beating Savanea across his face and forcing that running back to cut back and for a TFL. So another nice play. I think he can do, as you can see, down distance here is 3rd and 13. And then he's going to be dropping into a zone coverage. What I like is going to drop, get the defense off the field. Again, I think he has a little bit more speed too to cover the flat. That's where the 4.53 comes in. And I like on this one too, like they're trying to pick him. Yeah. Little subtle move to go kind of avoid the contact. I don't know if I trust Xavier Worthy to effectively pick him. Yeah. But either way, I like that.
Like, are you sure Worthy didn't win it?
Exactly. Yeah. It might be true. Maybe Worthy was making a little business decision. But yeah. Now that I watch it again, yeah. But either way, like you can kind of see the speed to go out and cover the flat. Again, get on 3rd down, help the defense get off the field. So the last play here, this is one I was talking about too, where has good eyes in zone coverage, opened up his hips and ends up making a nice play on the ball. But again, this is 2022, so when he was a little bit lighter, I think he's probably like 230 in this one. You see, he looks, I mean, to me at least, he looks skinnier than the 2024 stuff with the cowboy collar. But again, like the eyes here, finds the tight end, sees tight ends kind of working across the field on the over route, flip the hips, open it up, and then just go make a play on the ball. I think we get the end zone view here. Yeah. It's one of the good broadcast angles. Yeah, like you can see it, like go up and high point it. Look at the hip flip again. Turn. Stay in phase. Go make a play. So I think he has potential to maybe develop into a coverage guy or maybe develop into a 3-down backer. But obviously his game is predicated on being playing the run. And I think for the people who are looking for that Spillane replacement and the long-term Spillane replacement, like I think you've hit the nail on the head if you're looking at it with Stutsman, because I think their games are really similar, where Spillane was like that a lot too, where like sometimes he's on the backside of his down run, he get caught over pursuing and being a little too aggressive, but could definitely blitz and come downhill and make plays in that regard. And again, he is good at blitzing, so maybe you can teach him to be a better pass rusher too, to help out on 3rd downs in that area too.
Yeah, what you could really stood out to me is just how athletic he was. You could tell how he's a great athlete. It was the way he
Yeah.
moved, his great movement skills. Um, he's able to dip around guards and take them on as well, and kind of be very elusive to tight ends and people trying to block him. So that's what I noticed too. Just the athleticism, the speed, all those things kind of popped off to me. And he looks like a really good tackler as well. It looks like he's pretty
Yeah.
stout to tackling, but. In coverage, sometimes with linebackers, I think people really get stuck on coverage because to me, if I get my running back lined up with you 1-on-1, I mean, that's an advantage to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
This is Fred Warner, right? I mean, but Fred
Yeah.
Warner had to prove that. You know what I mean? Like, so if you could play zone, and kind of show those elements, like what he did, I think you can get away with it being pretty good in coverage because, not too many linebackers can go out there and guard 1-on-1.
Yeah, if you can play the middle hook and then you can carry tight ends when we're playing match coverage, like that last clip I can show, like that's good enough for me from a true Mike linebacker, right? If we're talking about a Will or someone that's going to be playing more on the outside, like a Sam or something like that, okay, it's a little bit of a different story. But when you're looking for that Mike that's going to line up, over the center more often than not, I just want you to be able to spot drop and be able to like make a play on the ball every now and again. And then on top of it too, if you have the speed and you can flip your hips and run like that, it's even better. That opens up, how many coverages we can run. But I definitely think, and that from that perspective of like, he can be the middle hook defender and be a decent zone defender. Like you can kind of get away with him in that part.
Yeah, for sure. All right, guys. So that's the show for today. You got Henderson and Stutsman. Of course, we'll be back again on Wednesday with more draft. It's gonna be draft. We got about a month left. We're at 26 days, I think, right now. 26 days,
something like that. Yeah.
So we're gonna give you plenty of draft to wrap it up. And then we'll see what our live reaction is gonna be like. It's gonna be exciting. So yeah. So check out this episode. Go ahead, check all the other draft episodes we got out as well. So, if they draft one of these guys, you're probably going to ask us, like, do you have an episode of, like, there you go. I'm gonna just put it out for you. But go check it out all the way up to the Senior Bowl and, like, Jackson Dart and everybody. We got all those breakdowns on there. So definitely check those out, guys. And hit the subscribe button. Subscribe. And we are out of here. Peace.